Oh, thank you. Oh, now we want your answer. Let's go
Yes,
back
we
again.
intend to get lots of money this year for the Center for Entrepreneur Development and the programs that we
Yeah.
want to offer to our members as well as to the community.
And I'm sorry, Angel, could you describe the Center for Entrepreneurial Development for everyone?
Well, the Center for Entrepreneur Development is going in a different direction. When I first joined, we had programs at Independent High School with the students in the business realm, those that were taking business classes, that we would coach them. Members of the chamber would go and coach them, and they would have a competition against each other and would win prizes and money, and then would go on further to a competition on the business level, the business entrepreneur business plan level. We've also talked about doing programs for those coming out of incarceration. And at one point, we talked about doing programs for those seniors or those over 55 coming back or coming back into a career or a new career, having a program for them. So our programs concentrate on the business members, the mom and pops. We're going to focus on mid business as well, and students, young adults.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Is Andre with us? Andre Green?
I didn't see him.
Okay. So I will. I think if you don't mind doing me a favor and just seeing if you can catch up with him on his cell, um, I'd appreciate it. Um, I should have made sure he was here. I think when we talked, he was planning on being here. But I will go ahead and speak on his behalf. Andre is the chair of the Silicon Valley Black Chamber of Commerce, the second arm. Just so we're clear, the center is the formal 501c3 nonprofit arm of the global operation, and the Silicon Valley Black Chamber of Commerce, the SVBCC, as we call it, is the program for the business side. It's a 501c6, I believe is what it's called, and it's more of a total organization, if you will, in terms of its business operations. So we're able to receive grants and financial support from both, and we're also able to gain members in that regard. And so Andre, actually, I think he's been with the chamber almost from the beginning, when it even when the center was begun. But hopefully he'll join us, and we look forward to having him share with us. Next item. So someone, I believe that's one of our business partners, needs to mute himself. So to ask if you're not talking, please mute yourself for us, so that we don't hear you in the background. Right. And so from this point, you've heard enough from me right at the start. Want to introduce you to our general manager, Alicia Owens, and Alicia's going to introduce the rest of the team.
Yes, I can. I was trying to call Andre for you, but I don't have that phone number, but that's okay.
Great. While you're doing it, I'll do that.
Okay, all right. So let me introduce in order the team that we have in place. Right off the bat, because I know two of them are right here. We do have, I would call them our paid volunteers. Let me say it like that. They're an integral part of, for me especially, because without them, it frees me up to do a lot of the work that I need to do. And so they've been really helpful. They've come from the Peninsula Family Services Agency, which is an agency, by the way, that for people, for whatever reason, they have to be over a certain age, but for whatever reason, they're not working right now. And maybe they need to just get their skills a little bit more honed. And so the chamber has partnered up with them to help them to get out there in the workforce. And so while they're on the job training, and we're working with them. They're being able to help us, and hopefully we can help them to get employed. So let me first introduce the first one that came on, which is Jane Cooper. Jane, can you just unmute yourself and for like 30 seconds to a minute, just introduce yourself and just let them know why you came on board with the chamber?
Oh, because you would hire me. I work, I'm an intern, paid by family, Peninsula Family Service. And I'm not so young anymore.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I was a lawyer for about 35 years. I then got a master's in medieval history. I don't know what else to say.
That's okay. Jane has been really helping me out as far as working to get some of the information to build up our membership. So she's been going through the Facebook right now and into Facebook business and pulling out some definite information that we need so we can pass it on to the membership team and grow our members even bigger. So thank you, Jane, again, for all the help that you do. And we'll let you off the hook right now.
Thank you.
All right, and then the next one we have is Miss Cynthia Longs. She's also been working with us. She actually has been working here the longest, I believe. And Cynthia has a few things in common, her goals as far as the chamber's goals. And so Cynthia, can you introduce yourself and let them know why you're here with us as well?
Yes, my name is Cynthia Longs, and I started with the chamber in 2019 because I wanted to make sure that I honed in on my skills to apply some of my software testing engineer background at the chamber. We were at the chamber then, and things worked out very good, as they are still. I'm doing more online now with Facebook and with LinkedIn and things of that nature, doing more research. And I was really excited because I was supposed to be helping out with Salesforce when that happens. So that's why I'm here. And also the membership, I did a little bit with that, but not a whole lot. So.
And Cynthia's been doing a lot of work, not with us, but can you tell them a little bit about what you do about working with the jail incarcerated people?
Oh yes, oh yes. I have like a little aside. What is happening in Santa Clara County is they're trying to build a new jail, and I therefore have I'm saying a lot on it because I have a son who's in the main jail, but it's not just that. My calling is such that, you know, when it comes to people being treated unjustly, I somehow always try to pick up the help out and therefore try to save whomever, right? And so now that my son is there, I'm seeing everything that is happening that is incorrect, given the fact that COVID has happened. A lot of things in the main jail and things that are happening, period, in our jail system, a lot of the incarceration, the systemic racism. I'm speaking out on a lot of those things, noting that the DA is the start of the systemic racism, along with the plea deals, of which we've gotten caught up in with my family, my son, my brother, and a lot of the people I talk to who are Black and brown people have gotten caught up in this, and I'm speaking on their behalf. So we won't build a new jail, and therefore build something to help those who are inside. Mainly, we have more than 40% of the people in the jails are mentally ill and they're not getting the help they need. And so therefore, what we want to do is try to build something to help those people. The nurses are complaining also that they cannot serve those people because they're only there for their medical needs, etc. So anyway, I do that on the side, but this is my main job here. I had 2 part-time jobs, sorry.
Well, good. Well, thank you. Thank you. Maybe we can collaborate sometimes with what we're doing too.
Yeah, and I did hear somebody say something about helping the people who once they get out, and I thought that was very good. I wish I had summarized this. I didn't want to go over down a tangent. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Too much information.
All right. Sam, were you going to still introduce the rest of the board members, or did you get a hold of him? Oop, he might be still talking. And Sam, if
I was waiting for the rest to arrive before I went back.
Okay. Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking for the rest of the team members, which we got a couple of them right there, but I can also introduce the rest of the, you moved them out of the way, but what were they?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You know,
Go back to page. Yeah, that first
again.
page.
There
Yeah,
we
they're
go.
right there.
Okay,
I
hold
can
on.
introduce the operations if you want
Okay.
until the rest of them come on.
Well, I think hopefully they're on now.
Okay,
Is Andre on or Ricky? Have they joined?
I'm on, Sam.
Nikki's on.
Great. Okay, so while we're still waiting for Andre, let me go ahead and introduce the rest of the board.
Okay,
I do apologize. So I had left off with speaking on behalf of Andre, Andre Green, who is our chair of the chamber. I also wanted to make sure and introduce our illustrious vice president, Albert Wright. Albert, take a minute. Tell us about yourself, your title, and why you joined the chamber.
Thank you, Sam, for the introduction. My name is Albert Wright. I've started a new business myself called Infinite Potential. And the goal of Infinite Potential is to create innovations and technologies that will create jobs for those who are reentry members and our youth. I'm the chair of mentoring for the Silicon Valley, for the 100 Black Men of Silicon Valley. And I work with youth at Burnell Intermediate School, Oak Grove High School, Santa Teresa High School, and just recently Nesby over at Santa Clara University. By night, when I take my cape off, I'm a master engineering technician over at Lam Research, servicing scanning electron microscopes. And over there, I created a employee resource group called Class Outreach, which stands for the Community of Latinos and African Americans for Student Success. And what we do is since 2016, we bring in our African American, Latino, and children of color students into Lam Research, NASA Ames, Facebook, Oculus. We've been over the Cisco system, Microsoft, Tesla, and I'm missing one. But we take the students in, introduce them to employee resource groups at those companies, the Black employee resource groups and the Latino employee resource groups, to introduce them to individuals who look like them in STEM. This program was developed with the 100 Black Men of Silicon Valley, and it's called the CUBU Technology Tours. And so it is our purpose to become a pipeline for our youth in the future and get them introduced to STEM and STEAM.
And why did you join the chamber?
Why did I join the chamber?
Yes.
I joined, yeah, I joined the chamber because as an entrepreneur myself and an inventor, this was the place to be in order to commune with like-minded individuals and to learn and to grow the businesses in our Black community.
Thank you, sir. Glad to hear it. Cherie, member of our board. Cherie, I've forgotten your last name. I'm so sorry.
It's Lawson.
Cherie Lawson is a member of the joint board as well. And Cherie, take it away.
Sure. So yes, I'm a member of the Silicon Valley Black Chamber Board, and my background is project management and tech. So I've been in the tech world for over 20 something years. And Carl approached me, it's been about 2 years now. And I want to say he twisted my arm, but it doesn't take much for Carl to put out the ask. And, when I saw what the board was doing, what the chamber is doing, I said, this definitely makes sense to support and grow and advance the mission and just broaden the reach. So I wanted to see what I could do to add to the powers to be to make that happen.
Thank you, ma'am. That was great. Brett, I'm sorry, I lost the name.
Oh.
Brett Ashton is also as a member of the board. Brett, take it away.
Thank you, Sam. So let's see. So yeah, I've also been in Silicon Valley for many years. I think my focus and background is it's more on the marketing and sales side. Go-to-market channels, and alliances is kind of where I've spent a lot of time. And I think I've known, like many, I've known Carl, for a long time, and I knew a little bit about the chamber. And I was talking to a former coworker over a long period of time, and I kind of met with the board, and it really seemed like a good opportunity for me to, I guess I don't mean necessarily get sort of experience outside of tech, but maybe get kind of plugged in in different ways, from a entrepreneurial, from a political, from a public policy, kind of expand my view a bit. And it's been a great experience working with everybody since then. So glad to be here.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Green. I know.
You got my last name.
I'm sorry.
So good evening, everyone. Ricky Green. I right now I'm the CEO with my wife Cynthia Stewart. We run Power Personnel. We staff temporary staffing. We place hundreds of staff throughout Silicon Valley in healthcare. We have a high percentage of our staff who are ethnic minorities, over approaching around 70%. We introduce the community to jobs in healthcare that pretty much otherwise they would know about or get access to. Healthcare is pretty has high demand and a higher pay. So we also do commercial as well, but we principally work in the healthcare industry. And in terms of the board, my background is in a CPA, lawyer, and executive. And so I was also Cherie strong-armed by Carl. Carl's a pretty persuasive gentleman, but yeah, no, but the goal for me was to lend some of my experience to help the board grow and move forward. And so that's it. And then ultimately, I hope to combine the mission of the board with some of the things that we're doing, giving opportunities to our community for jobs and advancement. So that's kind of the bigger picture on our end.
Thank you, sir. Has Andre joined us? I guess not. Well, I sent it to him. Hopefully everything is all right.
Yeah,
So
I don't see him yet.
okay, no problem at all. I want to go ahead and keep it moving. So now we've introduced our in-house team. We've introduced all the members of the board except one person, and I hope I haven't missed anyone. And I would want to again introduce our business partners. The reason that I've asked Alicia to do this is because I want everyone to know who does business with us, who partners with us and works and engages with us. So I'm going to ask them as well, the representative of these companies, to take a moment, describe what they do, and just know that we appreciate your engagement with us. Take it away, Alicia.
Okay, and just before I introduce them, I was just Ricky. I think I met you when we were at the building, right? You and your wife?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought, okay, good to see you again.
Thank you.
So, in our newsletter, as well as our e-blast, we have a section for people that are hiring. So if you want to get together with me, let me know if you're still hiring and I'll put that in there.
Yes, we have a ton of opportunities for the community. So
yes,
great.
Yes, please take advantage of that, please. Okay, now that I'm through soliciting. All right, well, it is my great honor to introduce this first lady. I have never met her in person, but I feel like she's my sister from on the other coast, and and she has been helping us for a very long time. And I'm so glad that Carl reached out to her a while ago to bring her on the team. She has basically just help us put this whole thing together. So without me stealing the rest of her thunder, let me introduce you to Farida. Go ahead, Farida. Oh, I'm sorry, Farida Tony, sorry. Go ahead, Farida, and let us know why you came on board with us and tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Thank you, Alicia. That was a beautiful introduction. It is an absolute pleasure to work with the Silicon Valley Black Chamber of Commerce. I saw that there was a need for a virtual assistant, and I applied for the role. And here we are today. So Type My Docs, we are a concierge-based virtual assistant agency for entrepreneurs. And we specialize in operations, marketing, and administrative support. We also work with nonprofits. And so our ultimate goal is helping our clients feel relaxed, knowing someone has their back who actually cares about the business the same way they do. And so that is just a tidbit about us. I started this business in 2014 from a stack of business cards underneath my bed when I was living with my mom. So it's come a long way, and now we are 5 clients and a total team of 5 amazing team members. And we're super excited to be working with the Chamber. And I just can't wait to see what else is next.
Well, there's more next.
Thank you. And I can't, before I introduce the next person, she just sold herself, but we really couldn't have put a lot of this together without her admin experience and really helping us with the just little small technical things that maybe we could have done it, but I hate it. So, and she loves it. So it's thank you again, Ms. Farida, for helping us with your business. And hopefully if anybody else needs virtual assistant, there is my biggest plug for her. Call her and she'll help you grow your business. All right.
Thank you.
And this second guy I have actually known him for quite a while. We met during what were we doing? One of those breakfast meetings. And he is a jack of all trades, but right now he is doing our internet marketing for us. And he has been an integral part of our social media team. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Kareem. Kareem, are you there? I think I saw you.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there you are. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, go ahead, Kareem. Take it away, introduce yourself and let us know why you came on board.
Thank you. Thank you, members of the board, president, vice president, and Alicia. I did have the opportunity to go to a breakfast mixer where Carl hooked me up to a set of dynamite. And he found out what I did and offered me the passcode to get out would be work for the chamber or get blown up. So I've been working with the chamber under duress since 2007.
Wow.
Thank you.
I do digital marketing is my specialty. Everyone has a message, and it shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg to produce your message. The reason I got into digital marketing is because back in high school, we tried to publish an ad, and for 2 lines in the newspaper, they close to wanted $75 with no art, no pictures, no nothing.
Just wording.
I thought that was wrong, and so I've been working on improving that. Now the ads and production quality of the material I make is so close to industry standard, you can't tell whether the person spent $50,000 or $5,000. My background comes from working with Pepsi warehouse sales for 4.5 years, where I was the #2 salesperson in the United States. I've worked a lot of retail where I was either the store manager or the operations manager, and I'm normally #1 in my industry. I brought all of those talents to the chamber because African Americans struggle in the marketing and representation of themselves in the media.
Mhm.
And when you're getting into a competition, which a lot of people don't understand, you're competing with everyone in the world.
Mhm.
And how you look in the world is important because that is how we evaluate everything. And so the better you look, the more people will listen to what your message is. And if they can hear your message, then you can make a profit. Thank you.
Good.
I guess if I'm going to talk, I should take mute. I should unmute myself. Thank you, Kareem, so much. And the last two, I do not believe they're on, but I'll just say real quick. Alganish, she does our bookkeeping for the chamber. She was actually doing it when we had our physical building. And Kawander Gage is our financial guru. I cannot say enough about how we implement Kawander in every aspect. It seems like every aspect of the chamber. She doesn't just know just one thing, she knows everything. So I wish she had been on tonight. I would have loved for you guys to have met her as well. But anyway, I will turn it back over to you, Sam, so we can get on with the meeting.
Well, actually, that was pretty good. So I also wanted to make sure, are there any members of the grant team present?
Besides April?
Well, besides Ambro and Cherie, are there any other members of that team? Helen or Andre? Okay, but it's no problem. So what I wanted to do a bit of, if you'll just let me, this is a good time to go to the next slide, if you will, if I can do that. What I wanted to make sure that we all understand, just coming together and sharing with folks, is the SBBCC SVCED platform. This is what we're about. And I thought about it as, being able to say this as simply as we can. I know it says here, promotion and support of Black business expansion, promotion and employment of Black, promotion and employment of Black employment expansion. That's my error. That's promotion and support of Black employment expansion. And promotion, development, and support of education programs that drive Black commerce and Black employment. So with the Silicon Valley Black Chamber of Commerce, I think we should be quite proud of that. I think we should be quite aggressive and assertive and focused on that in these areas. So I'm hoping that everyone coming from this point who's a member of our team will be able to share that with everyone you talk to. This is what we're focused on. A lot of things going on that I think that African Americans, Black people in general, can be concerned about going on in the world. Civil rights, social rights, and so on, police brutality, negative treatment, and all of those kinds of things. But there are organizations that focus on those things. There are, there's the NAACP, and SCLC, and Southern Poverty Law Center, and those things that, even Operation Push, XL, Rainbow Coalition, they're all in action and in operation. Our focus is one thing, and it is what sets this organization apart from every other. We have one focus, and that is driving Black commerce. And so why is that important? Because historically, Black people, Black Americans, have not had our own thing. We have always had to depend on somebody to take care of us, to work with, and that's whether as slaves or just getting our freedom. We are now in a stage, this is the last stage of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's vision. His focus was economic justice, economic development. And that was taking our place, building our own, providing our own, and not having to beg or plead with anyone to give it to us. The Silicon Valley Black Chamber of Commerce and all the other Black and African American chambers of commerce are singularly focused on that. And so if you've got another concern, it's interesting and opportune, and it's of great value. But please remember, this is our drive. In exactly that sense. We are looking to help people build businesses, help people build, positions and roles that drive ownership of companies or leadership of existing companies, and to educate not just young people, but educate people coming out of incarceration, educate people coming out of poverty, educate people who are changing careers, looking to reshape and redefine themselves into, owning a Black business or a well-paying Black job as a Black person. I hope that's understandable and agreeable with everybody. I'm hoping that's part of the reason, this is some of the reasons you would join the chamber. So having said that, how are we going to do that? What's that look like? Here it is. And so, I don't know if any of you, maybe some of you are older, remember the movie A Piece of the Action. It starred Sidney Poitier and a guy named Bill Cosby. There were a number of other stars, but they were the core. They were the core stars, and they were two men who were brought into a failing program to do two things. One was to educate young people into understanding how to get a job or start a business, and the other was to educate them or was to actually get them the jobs. So Sidney Poitier was focusing on training them how to get the jobs, and Bill Cosby was focused on actually getting them the jobs to match their education. That's the Silicon Valley Black Chamber and Silicon Valley Center for Entrepreneurial Development. So if you see here, the Silicon Valley Black Chamber is focused on business services. You can read those, that's opportunities development. And when I say opportunities development, that's contracts, bids, RFPs, RFQs, RFIs, certifications, proposals, business proposals, all these things that have to do with access for business. That's sponsor development, and that is getting major business enterprises and government to support this program and to support Black business as a standard. We are not, and I'll say this comfortably, we are not focused on BIPOC opportunities. That's Black, Indigenous, people of color, and there might be something else in there that people are using, which frankly dilutes our opportunities and our role in this country and our experience in this country. Every time we turn around, every program that's been developed with the intent of reestablishing Black opportunities, of driving Black opportunities or opportunities in the business industry that we have fought for, that we have died for, that we came out of slavery for, has been co-opted by some other organization which wants to include us in what becomes their agenda. That's not our goal. And I want to give you an excellent example. So when I was brought onto HP just recently, I said to them, I said, well, guys, I'm president of the Silicon Valley Black Chamber and the Center for Entrepreneurial Development. And I think it may be a point of conflict of interest because I'm really devoted to the organization. I just need to know how you all feel about that and how I can, if that's a problem. I asked my boss, she chatted about it with a number of other people, and here's what they said. They said, don't worry about it. You're in a perfect spot. We can use that. So yesterday, I'm sitting there, in my office, going through meetings, and I get this in my email. And essentially, it will be going out, in our newsletter and our e-blast. The company, Hewlett Packard, came out with a statement that they shared, and it simply says, "Walking the talk." Putting our words to action. Everyone in the country is yelling Black Lives Matter, but you walk through these buildings and these offices in Oakland and in Silicon Valley, and they have these signs up, and there's not a single Black person working there. Whole neighborhoods, Black Lives Matter. There's not a single Black person living there. And there's no one taking any action. The state of California, Black Lives Matter. That's great. Proposition 209 was passed under Republican administration, and California is now Democrat controlled than ever. And I'm saying this, Prop 209 still forbids people from hiring based on race, which has been a historical problem in the state. and is even worse now. Silicon Valley Black Chamber of Commerce, that's our focus. That's the business side, and that is driving opportunities for business and for business development, all the way down to providing business advising through the Chamber Business Advisors, through the Inclusivity Project, and through the California SDBC. That's the small business that should be SBDC, a Small Business Development Corporation. These all are organizations that are developed to help drive the growth and support of Black business and Black entrepreneurship. That's that goal of that arm of this organization. Then we go to the Silicon Valley Center for Entrepreneurial Development. Education training programs. And that's for people looking to go into business, people looking to start new careers, people looking to get certificates, people looking to get a business certification. We want to drive all of those things through the Center for Entrepreneurial Development, youth business development, youth, education and career development. And that's STEM and everything that's not STEM. There are lots of excellent businesses that don't involve a degree or extensive training in science, technology, engineering, and math. Barbering, the oldest barber program, I think in the state, is right here in Silicon Valley. And they have a continuing high turnover of people as new barbers. They also run a cosmetology school, continuous, restaurants, all of these programs, they exist. We want to drive training and education, not just in STEM, but in business. It's entirely possible to become a billionaire doing something legally other than basketball and science and engineering. And we have Black veterans, Black women, Black people who are disabled. At every opportunity, we want to make sure that people are aware of those opportunities in order to get a business off the ground, get a career off the ground, get a trade off the ground. And so that's the goal. And that's how we are able to do that. That's how we're able to pursue these things. Does it require some focus? Yes. Does it require that we spend some time engaging and hunting and researching? Yes. But the most important thing I would say it requires is for us to be forward looking. I'm not a big fan of looking back in history and seeing what all, I don't do that in the tech industry. I don't do that in the business industry. I'm always looking at things as to see how to move forward. And that's my goal with the chamber and the center, is looking at these opportunities and looking forward. And I'm asking, well, let me just keep going a bit. And this is actually it. I'm asking everyone here, everyone who's a volunteer, everyone who works with us, everyone who's on the board, everyone who's part of this, to see that possibility. And if you can see it, to act on it. Engage your employer, engage your employees, engage your church members, your religious leaders to share with us. You're in college, university, your fraternity, your sorority, and to engage with us, to share this construct with them. As we are moving forward, the first thing is from in-house, we want to share our ideas, the possibilities, the opportunities, the issues, yes, and our concerns with each other. And while we necessarily may not do your thing, do it your way, there are a couple of things you can guarantee. We will have reviewed it and considered it, especially if it drives the agenda we are looking forward to. And people come up with a lot of things. People come up with a lot of ideas. By the way, that should be 509-8806. Sorry about that. That's again a SAM error.
So, I was looking and I said, what's wrong with that phone number?
I'm sorry about that.
And actually, that's actually not 509. I'll put it in the chat. It should be, if you're calling the chamber, it's 288-8806.
Sorry about that, folks. Yes.
It's okay.
And so basically what I'm asking everyone to do is don't just sit on the sideline and say, I'm a board member, I'm a volunteer. get involved and help drive this agenda. I'm asking you, I'm begging you to do that with us, to share with us internally, to look for every opportunity to be the difference internally. And number two, to share regarding us externally. Share the news blast, share the e-blast, share the newsletters, the website information, share regarding events and opportunities with the Chamber on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Make a video regarding the Chamber. I have a couple more. If I can get my how can I get my breathing act together? Coming out of the weekend, it's going to be slow and heavily edited. Share with your friends and family and neighbors. If you're proud of what we're doing, share that information with other people. Your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers. The idea is to grow the Chamber, to grow our goal of empowering more Black businesses, more Black people into positions of authority. And yes, to make space to train and support young people, Black people, whether they're in school or or they've decided to go into a non-college, non-formal education field, to people who are coming out of jails and prisons, who are formerly incarcerated, coming out of the justice system. Great. We want to drive them through a program that develops their business opportunities as well. There are quite a few people of color, not just Black people, who came out of jail and out of prison and who got educated while they were there and came out and started a business, went to work for somebody and ended up running the business. I know a number of people exactly like that. That's our goal. And of course, if you're volunteering, I would say this, please ask others to volunteer with you, to consider volunteering with you and volunteering with the Chamber and the Center. We could use them at every opportunity. And they don't necessarily have to have administrative skills. If they have speaking skills, we need people to talk, not just this guy, Sam Washington. We need people who can talk and who can do outreach. We need people who have connections that they can share with us, who know information. We need all of those things. And so, obviously, I'm asking a lot of some of you. Some of you are like, I've given 15 years to this. I've given 20 years to this. I understand. I do. The stuff we love and we have a passion for, we pursue. And this is my passion. I'm glad Carl corralled me and pushed me not only to join the Chamber, but consider leading the Chamber and the Center. I'm glad of that. Because this is my passion. I'm surprised at how much of a passion it is. But engaging with HP showed me that this is the time and this is the opportunity. Rather than just saying Black Lives Matter, Hewlett Packard has said, we are putting our words to action. We are guaranteeing that in 2022, at least 10% of our business won't be with just minority diversity, LGBTQ, SRMO. No. 10% of our business or more will be with Black companies. That's the game plan. And HP is the perfect.
Excuse me, Carl. Excuse me, Samuel.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody's not applauding.
Keep it clapping.
HP said 10%.
Because we're on mute.
Of what 10% of their revenue is
right,
going to be to work with Black businesses in our community. I am a visionary. I can invent, I can make up stuff to use that money.
Yes.
No, I'll definitely clap. I guess I don't know if I'm feeling a little bit more like a realist. I just want to see structurally how it gets done. Yeah. I'm super excited. I was there for 18 plus years, I don't want to trot out all the cliches, but you know,
No, hey, Brett.
it's all in the execution.
Yes.
Very
So
good. Yes.
Yeah,
and I'll, you know, and I'll connect with you, you know, offline. You know, I've got a small number of friends that are still there, you know, after all these years. I'm pretty sure you know Dion Morgan. She's the first person that comes to mind, but we can talk about that. So yeah, I'm super excited. So
well, I'll tell you something,
I'm
Brett.
super excited.
Let me just share this with you. So I got a video.
I should have clapped like Albert did.
You can clap right now, Brett. It's never too late. Go ahead and
Don't
clap.
hold back.
That's,
Don't hold back.
that's the cynic. That's the cynic in me. Too much time online and all that other stuff. But go ahead, Sam.
No, I do understand. But believe me, I'm totally with you. But at the very least, they've given us a number and they've given us a time frame. And they've scheduled 2 meetings starting in January, 2 initial meetings to explain how they want to try to do this and to enlist people's help to do that. It's in the email that I shared for the e-blast that's coming out. And so it isn't just them saying, here's what we're going to do. What they're saying is, in support of this, we're going to set up some meetings so we can try to explain, specifically with Black companies who already do business with HP, and to drive business with new companies. And HP is a global firm. They need a lot of things, not just tech and computers and printers and software. They need a lot of things, just like every other company. And you know, not just catering, not just yard laborers and those kinds of things. Tissue paper, toilet paper, bathroom accessories, kitchen accessories, phones and everything else. Desktop, papers, pens, pencils. And HP needs all that. This represents just sort of initial opportunity, and it's just one example. And it's given me the impetus to go after everyone else to say and pursue the exact same thing. Let me make sure I don't waste all your time. Celebration, honoring Carl Davis Jr., who roped so many of us in to his vision, is Saturday, January 22nd, 6 p.m. at Jackie's Place. Please join us. Please join us. I think it's going to be a wonderful time. It's the Chamber and Center's time to celebrate and honor Carl, and we'll also set up a Zoom, an ongoing Zoom, so that people who can't be there can also at least watch and maybe catch Carl in passing. That's that's our goal. So that's item 1. Item 2 is we're planning a member survey. So we're contacting all of our members, all of our roughly 248, somewhere in that ballpark, asking them to take a survey about how we can, what ideas they have for engaging in service, and also engaging and serving them, but also asking them about their ideas for sharing their own services with us, sharing, about the chamber, and giving us opportunities to engage. The last thing is I want to try to make sure we have a members mixer for members and prospective members to join and engage. Want to try to do that. The first one being in February, and we'll set a date for that. Those are the 3 items that I want to make sure and share with everyone. But I do want to make sure and say this. I want to personally pick up where Carl Davis Jr. left off. He gave us a great infrastructure, gave us a great sort of skeletal structure for driving the chamber forward. A lot of pieces are already in place. What we need now is action to back that up. So with that in mind, need you to know the chamber needs new board members. We prefer that they are business owners. We actually, the chamber and the center need new board members. We prefer that they're business owners, but we're looking for folks who have our passion and want to join us, and can see the vision. Maybe even bring some new ideas as to how to help us move forward. So that's a major. We need a general secretary. We need a financial officer, a treasurer, Absolutely. And some additional board members as well. So in addition, we have some other organizations that we are looking forward to developing. Now, the great news is we're not looking to do all of this next week, especially during the Christmas holiday.
Oh, we're not?
You know, this is actually, in my mind, this is a 24-month vision as a start. We need to give ourselves some time to try some things, to make some errors, to see what works, and to make sure that where people fit properly. Well, one thing you learn is I have a phrase I use. Look, folks, in my spare time, I'm pastoring, and I say this a lot in church. Everybody who says Jesus doesn't mean Jesus.
Right.
And everybody who means Jesus doesn't mean Jesus all the time. And
Wow.
sometimes we mean Jesus, but Jesus doesn't mean us in some particular positions. And so we're going over the next 24 months or so, we're going to be working through those things and figuring out how to continue to closely work together and drive the vision for expanding Black business growth, not just in Silicon Valley, because in all honesty, my view is global, but also expanding Black employment, again, not just in Silicon Valley, and expanding educational opportunities, building some programs with Amber in the center to get some people back on some tracks, to put some people on some new tracks that make for life. What time is it? It's 8:05. I've gone 5 minutes over. I do apologize. Anything urgent anyone wants to say or ask?
I don't want to say anything urgent, but I just want to give an update on the survey that you were talking about, Sam. I do have somebody that's calling the members. He's already about halfway through the list. He's taking copious notes, and they're giving us some great feedback. So we'll have more to share on that later on when I get all the results.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? So my goal is, yes,
I had a question about the Carl's celebration, but I guess that's next month. So we can always, I was concerned about registration, but I'm sure that'll come up later. That's all.
Absolutely. I understand completely. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll talk about that more as we go along. We've got to get through the New Year's, Christmas holidays. I'm sorry, I just need to take that breath. Anything else? Anyone else? I'm also looking at some things here in the chat. Let me just make sure. Ditto, Brett, ditto, thank you. This has been good. Thank you, Brett. Just want to make sure there wasn't a question in there. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, all right, great. Didn't want to miss anybody. Farida, we understand your mic ain't working, but we're glad to have heard you. Thank you. Everybody, please consider, as you are celebrating this Christmas, as you are celebrating throughout the holidays, these items going into next year. The revolution doesn't start next month. The revolution doesn't start next year. The revolution and the resolution start now. Please join us. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you.
Put that in the chat.
Thank
I
you.
need to put that in the chat. That mantra. I need to memorize that.
I will send the replay of this recording to you all. I'll send a link to you all when it's finished. Okay.
Thank you.
See that to me.
Let's
you so
just say
much.
amen.
And I'm really about boots on the ground. I'm really about boots on the ground. So that's another reason why I joined the chamber. Thank you guys. I'm
All
very
right, thank you
inspired.
guys.
Very inspired.
Have a good evening.
Thank you,
bless you.
everyone. Have a great
God
evening.
bless you all.
Good night.
We'll be talking.
Okay. Let me stop this recording.